is Ryan Cam, and we're getting a new Lion King movie this month. I'm sure somebody asked for this. There's got to be at least somebody, right? Quite seriously, though, this gave me the idea to do a bit of a road to. So, throughout the month of December, I'm going to be covering all of the Lion King movies released in honor of Mufasa. Basically, this is giving me a good excuse to finally review The Lion King on my channel. So here it is. However, this is going to be different than a traditional review because there are a lot of reviews of The Lion King on this very platform. I'm more than certain of it. And I didn't want to just say things like, it's great, it's fantastic. Like, I'll probably say that, but I'll probably just be cleaning dishes that have already been washed. So what I wanted to do with this video is a bit of a countdown, sort of, kinda, but nothing really. It's like I'm titling this my five favorite moments in The Lion King, but I love all five of these moments equally. You can interchange them, and I just wouldn't care. Just five is a nice round number, so I thought it would be nice to just do five. But quite simply, Lion King is absolutely stellar. It's amazing. It represents Disney at the very height of their powers. It's the best movie of arguably their best period creatively. If somehow you've never seen it, see it. That's your homework. But for right now, let's get into my five favorite moments of The Lion King, starting with number five. Number five, the elephant graveyard. For many reasons, this whole sequence is not talked about nearly enough, but I love it. From the very moment we see the elephant graveyard, how it just looks like a black scar on the land. Yes, I know what I did there. Like a black scar on the land next to the beautiful, lush wilderness of the Pride Lands. It's automatically like the place you just don't want to go. And then Simba and Nala end up going there because, kids just gonna be kids, I guess. And they end up in trouble and at the mercy of three hyenas voiced by Jim Cummings, Cheech Marin, and Joe Rogan's biggest fan, Whoopi Goldberg. And just the look of the elephant graveyard, the danger that the cubs are in, it's a part of the movie that is just really great and just establishes that Simba is going to be king one day. He just has a lot left to go through, and it's perfect accompaniment for the I just can't wait to be king number that happens just before they go to the graveyard. So it's a nice dichotomy of going from the high to the low. It's a part of the movie that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Number four, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? This, outside of the opening, is the best song in the entire movie. I know what I said, and I'm sticking to it. I love this song so much, and it's the perfect way for Simba and Nala to reconnect after many years after Mufasa's death, and we'll get to that, don't you worry. But I love how it starts off with Timon and Pumbaa singing, and then it leads into Simba and Nala singing their sort of feeling out process, and then the build up to it is just great. And while the movie version of the song is great, the Elton John version is somehow even better and should have been in the movie proper, but it wasn't, unfortunately. And maybe it's just the Elton John fan in me, but that should have been included in the movie somewhere, but I do digress. Number three, the Stampede slash Mufasa's death. I'm kind of including the death, the Stampede and Mufasa's death in one package because they technically happen about the same time as each other. But let me just put it to you all like this. I watch quite a few horror movies all year, and I've seen quite a few in my life. One of the legit scariest things I've ever seen in a non-horror movie is this stampede. When at first Simba sees the wildebeest coming down the way, his eyes just getting this big, my heart sinks into my gut every time that happens. And then Simba starts to run and he's just not gonna make it. And then Mufasa saves him. And then Scar just does his betrayal where he goes, "Long live the king," and drops Mufasa down. And then not only do you see Mufasa die, but you see Mufasa's body. Yeah, Disney were just on another playing field in the 90s. They just did not care. Between that, Clayton's death in Tarzan, and pretty much everything in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Disney were just like, you know what? We're pretty cash heavy right now. Let's push the envelope. Let's pee on the third rail. Let's see where we can take this. I'll put it to you like this. For a family film, they didn't have to go that hard, but I'm glad they did. Number two, remember who you are. Another scene in this movie that legit scared me the first time I saw it is when we see the ghost of Mufasa appear in the clouds, consulting his son and telling him to remember who he is and take back Pride Rock. That whole sequence is just beautiful now that I've rewatched it for the sake of this video. But the build-up to it is great too. When Rafiki consults Simba and talks about the past and how just because the past hurts doesn't mean it has to stick with you forever. And that whole sequence is just great. And Simba just has his doubts, but then he sees the ghost of his father, the ghost of the past Lion Kings that watch over the Pride Lands, like Mufasa talked about when Simba was a whole lot younger. That's a nice little full circle moment there. This whole scene is just so beautiful. And it's like in terms of style, the movie just peaked right there. And my favorite moment in The Lion King is number one, Circle of Life. Do you want to know how awesome the opening song is in this movie? Disney released it as the teaser trailer. Literally, the teaser trailer for this movie is coming soon, the cinematic experience from Disney that you've never seen before, and then the opening note. Not since Star Wars, the opening of the first Star Wars, like the one from 77, where an opening note of a song just locks me in. As soon as I hear the first note of Circle of Life, I'm like, all right, I'm locked in. Let's do this. Like, it just sets everything up perfectly. And then you see all the animals gathering at Pride Rock, and then you see Rafiki take baby Simba and lift him up, and then it all crescendos in the big. It's the circle of life, and just all the animals go nuts. And Simba looking out and saying, like, I hope this monkey doesn't drop me. It's an all-timer. It's one of the greatest openings, not just in animated movie history, but in movie history, period. Like, it just, I would say it peaked in the opening, but somehow the movie gets even better after that. So it's one of the greatest openings of all time. It's high-key very sad that Disney just doesn't make movies like this nowadays. And I'm not someone who's like they don't make them like they used to. But in the case of Disney, they certainly don't make them like they used to anymore. Lion King is just, it's top tier, and it has yet to be topped. So if you have somehow never seen it, do yourself a favor and watch it. But I passed off to all of you. What is your favorite moment in The Lion King? Let me know in the comments. I would love to read what you have to say. And I will be reviewing the rest of the Lion King films leading up to Mufasa. And next up, starting next Sunday, is The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, which is a movie that I have never seen. So fingers crossed it's at the very least good. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.